The purpose of this video is just to illustrate the variety of ways that a job might come to you from me. So I just want to take a look at some of those. Um, Number one, I may produce a hand-drawn sketch of the floor plan, something that I've been working on with the client. It's gone back and forth with some revisions. And here I'm showing a first floor plan, a second floor plan, and a roof plan. And this is enough. I would depending, I would try to give enough dimensions. There's plenty of dimensions here on this drawing to get you started. I'd probably just take a real good look at the drawing before sending it to you, making sure that all of the dimensions are accounted for. These are always to scale, to 1/8 inch scale. So as long as you, as I print them 1:1 and you print them out 1:1 ratio, they should scale off of a scale roller. And you can make some assumptions, but I will have as many dimensions as I think are necessary, and then if you needed to call me, you could always call me for some clarification. So they might come to you in that format. If they did, what you would be doing would be producing something that I showed in an earlier video, which would just be this guides layout. All of these walls, any of the walls that are 5.5 inches thick, or these are just two lines representing each side of the wall face, and then obviously just all the interior partition walls, etc. So these are all to scale. Obviously it's done in Vectorworks, and it's all based on that drawing that I just showed you that was hand done. And I'd probably just check in with you when the drawing is about to this point, just to make sure that everything's going good, and then I'd probably just release you to keep going. So in some cases, I would give you a job file that already looks like this, and you would be producing you'd be getting going on the model. You'd be putting in, you would be putting in all the floors and all of the walls, placing some appliances, maybe inserting the doors where they should be in the windows. I would probably have to give you a few more details for some specifics on doors and windows, etc. But again, I would give you all of those details, and you would be producing something along the lines of this. So we're starting to see the the model take place. Next would be sometimes if I'm doing a let's see. If I am doing an addition on a project, on a house rather, I would take some field dimensions. So this was a pretty straightforward house, and I had gone into the field. They wanted a big addition off of the one side of this house. At least that's what they thought they wanted. And so while I was there, I have a digital laser distance measuring device, and so I have it set so that when I'm writing down the dimensions, they're not hard to write down, or they're not difficult. So I have it in the easiest way possible. So I just have it with a decimal point. So this measurement, for example, is 15.215 feet. The ceiling height right here is 7.76 feet. And so everything is, instead of feet and inches and fractions of inches and all that, I just put down those decimal fractions, and take all my measurements like that. And so I would probably go over this real quick with you before I hand it off to you, and then you would the first go around, you'd probably produce that guide layer again, and we can make sure we're where we need to be before moving on to either modeling or adding the addition onto the house. Sometimes a client will buy the rights of a set of house plans, and when they do that, they're intending on making some changes. They've already contracted with that company, and they're making some changes. This is a set of house plans that the builder purchased online. It's called the Jessica, and he's just got some red lines as to what he's looking to do as far as making changes goes. We just either use this and use the rough dimensions that are on all of these plans, and that along with whatever the builder says the goal is for square footage. We use those. Sometimes they go the next step and they will actually purchase, well, they always purchase them, but they may actually provide me with the actual detailed plan, so there's really no guesswork as far as how big a room should be, or proportions or window sizes and all that. And like I said, they've already purchased the rights to make these changes, and so they are hiring me in this case to just alter a set of plans that have already been designed by somebody else. Once in a while, the client will actually send a scan. Could be as bad as this. This was a terrible thing, but a terrible set of plans. But he gave me a couple of the dimensions that I just simply could not make out, or I could deduce some things from some of the details or some of the scans that he sent that were decent. And then I had to call him, get a couple questions answered as far as what he was showing in some of these areas that were unclear. Sometimes the client will do their own sketch, and it could be roughly to scale. One of my clients gives me this type of a 1/8 inch scale drawing, and usually it's pretty good. And there may be a few items here and there that are not necessarily to scale, or they didn't work out all the bugs, or maybe the roof is a little difficult as shown. And so throughout the design process, some of those things come out, and we got to make some adjustments. But this is how a lot of jobs actually from this builder come to me. And then sometimes a client sends me something that is just it may be to scale somewhat, but it's just very rough. This was a client sketch. I think they did it on grid paper, so they have their numbers there of how big they want, how many, the size of some of these rooms and whatnot, but it leaves a little bit of room for interpretation. So in these cases, you can tell here that these steps cannot possibly be to scale. So a lot of times they need a little bit of help with this. So some questions to the builder at this point usually need to be asked so that we can move forward. So those are just some of the many ways that a job might come to you from me, obviously with as much information as you would feel comfortable that you need in order to move forward. And then there's, in addition to that, you may just join a job already in progress. It could be at any stage of the game, and I may just have you do a couple portions of the job, maybe just all the dimensions, or finish off what somebody else started with regards to the modeling, or adding trim, or details on the outside of the house, or anything really. So that's it for this video. Thanks.